right wing is as right wing does. Right wing is as right wing does. White wing is as white wing does. Oh, if you hear me, folks. What a mess. And really, she's just reaping what she sowed. I'm telling you straight up, look, guys, this is advice for any man out there, any, boy out there who's almost a man. If your girl, your woman, or whoever is anything like this, the prize at the end of the race is anything like this, you need to be running backwards. You need to be running your ass backwards because you do not want to deal with someone like Lauren Sowed. She's absolutely deranged. Nevertheless, she gets something right every once in a while, and in this situation, here she goes. But I gotta say, you picked him, girl. You picked him. You and millions of right wing women like you across the country affirm the beliefs of men like you're complaining about. You comfort the enemy that you are complaining about. You aid the enemy that you are complaining about. And then you want guys like me, guys like Chad Ronan Chadriguez to come and save you. It's not going to happen that way. It is not going to happen that way. I want nothing to do with women like you at all. I know there are tens and tens and tens of millions of you in this country, and I am fine going the rest of my life not even getting so much as a glance in my direction from you, okay? And I think that most of you men out there should be just as comfortable with that. Wear it as a badge of honor. Now, look, I'm going to read to you what she had to say. I wrote a couple notes down, and then we'll go from there. Nathan J. Robinson, Bleeding Heart Liberal. Unsurprising, but very sad. Conservative Tradwife influencer Lauren Southern discovered being in a traditional marriage felt like being enslaved. She felt compelled to rationalize her husband's abuse, and the anti-feminist life was incredibly lonely and made her want to die. Oh my God. Look, I shouldn't laugh too much because though she promoted it, she had the power to do so. She was given a pulpit to do so. Okay? This woman has tried to get people killed. Do you understand? She's literally tried to get people killed at sea. Okay? Libyan migrants, if you know, you know. All right? And billions of women throughout history. This is actually something that bothers me when I lay awake at night. Okay? Or when I'm up too freaking early in the morning. Something that will always bother me until the day I die is billions and billions and billions of women had almost no choice, and sometimes no choice, right? But to suffer in situations worse than this, with a bunch of cowardly and whiny men around them that never did shit about it. You have a bunch of guys who will do something about it. But instead you used your pulpit for evil. Mull on that one. She says, then, this is Lauren Southern right here. Then, thousands of miles from friends and family, she reports becoming the closest thing to a modern day Western slave. With no income of her own, she had to do everything. The lawns, the house, the cooking, the baby care, his university homework. And I didn't know anyone. I didn't have any support. There was no help changing diapers. There was no help waking up in the night with the baby. I still have to get up to make breakfast before work. I'd be shaking and nervous for fear I'm going to get yelled at. Then he'd berate her for spending all her time on tasks other than earning money. I was told daily that I was worthless, pathetic, and dead weight. All you do is sit around and take care of the baby and do chores. All you do is... How do you do both? Sit around and take care of the baby? sit around and do chores. I'm just gonna freaking say to guys like this, you are a fucking chump change, you know whatter. Okay? Now I'm gonna try to keep it to the bare minimum on the yelling and swearing. But I don't mind name. Look, you got a bunch of fake tough guys and wannabe wise guys on the right wing who are phony nice guys when they want to get paid, phony nice guys when they want to get laid, but when they get a freaking ring on it, they're doing shit like this. You deserve smacked around. You want to bully someone? Well, why don't you try to come bully me? When you want to use out there with the freaking patch, I'll come patch up the other one. This shit pisses me off. All you do is sit around and take care of the baby and do chores. When COVID shut down, all real world public life or situation became hell on earth. It was, she said, the only time in my life where I idealized dying. There were warning signs from early on. If I ever disagreed with him in any capacity, he'd just disappear for days at a time. I remember there were nights where he'd call me worthless and pathetic, then get in his car and leave. But she didn't see them, thanks to the simplified anti-feminist ideology she'd absorbed and promoted. I had this delusional view of relationships, that only women could be the ones to make or break them. Talk about low IQ. And men can do no wrong. I mean, that's low quality stuff. So she didn't spot the red flags, even as they grew more extreme. He'd lock me out of the house. I remember having to knock on the neighbor's door on rainy nights because he'd get upset and drive off without unlocking the house. He was very strange. To go from being this public figure it was very strange. To go from being this public figure on stage with people clapping to the girl crying, knocking on someone's door with no home to get into, being abandoned with a baby. For she tells me she's not alone. She tells me she knows many other women still suffering in unhappy trad life marriages. One of her WhatsApp groups, she says, is like the Underground Railroad for women in the conservative movement, really the right wing movement, right? Some of these are prominent media figures. There are a lot of influencers who are not in good relationships who are still portraying happy marriage policy and bashing people for not being married while being in horrendous relationships. She hopes that in speaking out, she can reassure all of these women who are thinking in their heads, I'm uniquely terrible and I'm uniquely making a mistake, that no, something is more generally amiss. Yeah, you live with a chauvinist idiot. You live with a low IQ man-child. If they don't know how to cook, ladies, hear me out. If they don't know how to cook, if they don't know how to clean, if they don't know how to take care of kids, if they don't know how to take care of pets, they're low quality. Period. It don't matter how much money they make. Don't matter how hot they are. They are low quality. Period. There are millions of guys out there that are way... Look, I'm a million times better, and they wouldn't even be able to catch up in a million lifetimes. I'm telling you right now. Okay, I'll just say it. I'll just come out and say it. And there are guys out there way better than me, who are nothing like these clowns. Pay the fuck attention. Stop thinking you know better than guys. Stop thinking you know better than dudes who are around these clowns. I've been around these clowns. I've had to ball them up and roll them out the fucking way. You don't know better than me on how to deal with these folks. You don't know better on what it means to be a man. And quite frankly, I hate to even call him a man-child, because when I was a child, I was cooking and cleaning and taking care of pets and babysitting. And look, if they can't do any of that, what are they going to do if you get sick? What are they going to do for you if you get sick? Nothing. And you picked them, and you promoted them, and you continue to pick them, and you continue to promote them, and you continue to aid and comfort the enemy. How about it? When she first announced her marriage, she said she'd been lauded by friends and fans. Then, when she announced the separation, she was inundated with messages lamenting how her life was ruined. But in both cases, the exact opposite was true. Post-divorce, after becoming a single mother, my mental health started to improve. I started to repair all these really important friendships, and I'm living a much happier, much healthier life than I was before. Some of the most miserable people I've met, in fact, absolutely the most miserable people I've met, have been stuck in this weird LARPy trad dynamic. The happiest people she knows, on the other hand, are just living in reality. Hmm. 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 Nathan J. Robinson says maybe Betty Friedan was onto something. I don't know who the fuck that is. Excuse my language. Once again, look, um, that is reaping what you sow. Absolutely 100%. Doesn't mean you don't get to change your mind and turn around and become a better person. I hope she becomes a better person someday. She's been an absolutely awful human being. She's been a great detriment to humanity. The amount of death and destruction she's promoted while she has been here on Earth, quite frankly, in such a short period of time, is staggering. Okay, and the people she aids and comforts do the same thing. Those people do the same thing. You need to be rational. Rational. You need to be reasonable. Just reasonable. And above all else, quite frankly. Okay, if you're going to dive into this arena, you need to be logical. You need to have progressive solutions to problems, not reactionary responses. Guys, I'm going to leave it at that. You know what's up.